Let's try exploring the Symmetry tools in Procreate with our flourishing to create some designs. Starting on a blank layer and using your favorite brush, let's draw a simple flourish swirl. Once you're happy with your design, go up into the Layers menu, slide it to the left, and duplicate it. Now go to your transform arrow and you can move that layer around, overlapping it with your first one. With the transform tool on and it's set to magnetic, you can resize it and keep the proportions and move it around and see where you like it placed on the original design. This is a simple way to get two swirls overlapping each other and maintain that balance and shape. So play around with this until one really pops for you. When you duplicate the layer and you use the transform tool with magnetic, when you slide the second layer over, you'll see that blue line. That means those two layers are staying in alignment with each other, so they're on the same plane. When you resize it from the corner, and a blue line will show up as well, that's telling you it's staying within proportion, that you're not distorting the original design at all. If you do want to change the proportions at all, you'll need to change it from magnetic to freeform when it's in the transform mode. Now when you're happy with the one that you've decided on, you're going to go back up into your layers, click on the top layer and merge it down into the second layer. Now they are together and you can move them around as one unit. Now we're going to create another one going up into our layers menu. Again, we're going to duplicate this layer. We're going to go to the transform tool, make sure it's on magnetic, and now we're going to flip it using the flip horizontal. And then again, we use the transform tool to slide the new one over to the right so that they are mirrored and overlapping each other. And once you're happy with that design, again, you merge the top layer down into the lower layer. And we end up with a really beautiful flourish that came from one simple swirl. Now we can select that and we can move it up to the top of our page, and we can resize it as well if we want it to be a little bit smaller. It keeps the proportions as long as we're on magnetic. And now it acts like a header for the top of our page. So if I want this same design to be mirrored at the bottom of the page, I'm going to show you how to do that. You duplicate the layer and then you're going to want to flip it to the bottom. So we go in and we create a new layer, and then I make it white, and you fill this entire layer. Then you move the layer to the bottom and you can turn it off because it doesn't need to be on. And then you select one of the other layers so that two layers are selected, and then you use the flip vertical button and it flips it, and now it's created a header and a footer that mirror each other perfectly. So then we're going to take it one step further and we're going to put them on the sides as well. So again, we're going to duplicate that layer, and now I need to rotate that layer. So choose the rotate button and hit it twice because you want it 90 degrees, and then you're going to place it where you want it. That looks like about a good spot for it. Now we're going to flip this one over to this side. Now I don't have this perfectly centered, but we're just going to give it a shot and see what happens here. So select that blank layer again with the duplicated side one, and you're going to flip horizontal this time. Now let's see where it flips to there. So now it's perfectly mirrored across from the other one, but because I didn't have the original one centered on the page itself, it's over a bit. That's okay. Just go to that particular layer, make sure it's the only one selected, and just nudge it over a little. See, the blue line will tell you that it's staying in line with the one across from it. And now you have a beautiful framework. Now if you want to center it on the page, just select all four layers that are part of it and move them around. See how the blue line's helping you out there? And if you're happy with it, you can merge them all together, and that's how you get a nice framework out of a simple swirl. And if you'd like to learn more techniques, you can come check out my full class, Flourishing on the iPad, over at Skillshare. You can find the link in the description below. Thanks for joining me today.